Alright, so just so that we have the title here, 1.3, solve linear equations. Alright, so these first ones are solving the equation in, it's got one variable in all of these ones, and it's just on one side, so we literally just got to move the numbers over. So we'll start with 4, y minus 4 equals 7. So what does y equal? Y equals 11. Okay, it says specifically and check. Okay, so we're going to come over here and do that. So you need to plug in 11 minus 4 equals 7, and then show that 7 is equal to 7, so that you show that the answer is right. Let's see.
7 doesn't equal 7.
Why not?
Because it's, I don't know.
All right, number 8. 4 is equal to 2/5 times g. So how would I
Yeah.
get g by itself? Reciprocal? Yeah. So you can either go and do it in 2 steps and multiply by 5 and then divide by 2, or you can just flip the fraction and do 4 times 5 over 2. Okay, you don't have to actually write that necessarily. Just, I was telling the other class this morning that a lot of times when people aren't here, I try to put more into the video, and I try to write down more stuff just to make sure everything is clear as much as possible. So what is g equal to? G equals 10. I'm going to come over here and check it. So 4 is equal to 2/5 times 10. So 5 and 10 cancel, giving you a 2 on top. 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 is equal to 4. So it works. Okay, so you don't have to show out like every single little step. Like you don't have to show that you canceled out the 5 and the 10 and then you multiplied it by 2. Okay, this is easy math at this point, if you will, so you don't have to show all those steps, but you do need to show that 4 is equal to 4 when you check it, things like that, or in the first one, 7 equals 7. So that I know you actually paid attention to it and didn't just write the statement down again and call it a day kind of thing. All right, 12. 4n minus 10 is equal to 12. So now we've got a 2-step problem. So what do I do first?
You add the 10.
Add 10, so 4n is equal to 22. And then what?
You divide it by 4.
Divide by 4, so n is equal to 22 over 4. I need to simplify that. 11 over 2. Okay, and I would prefer you leave things as improper fractions. Okay, I know I'm probably the first math teacher that has ever asked you to do that. It's just because as we get to things later on, it'll make your life easier. And a lot of times, if you leave it like this, it will actually cancel nicely when you plug it back in to check it. Okay, so if you convert it to a decimal, that's fine, but it's like I'm technically saving you work by letting you just leave it. So, let's see. So over here, then we can plug it in. So I've got 4 times 11 over 2 minus 10 equals 12. So my 4 and my 2 cancel to leave me with 2 on top. 2 times 11 is 22 minus 10. So 12 is equal to 12. And we're good.
Really not hard.
It's not. The section's really pretty easy.
Calculus was
Yeah, honestly, the first like 3 chapters in here are relatively easy.
it's probably just like going over the basic stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. So the next section, 20 through 31, says to solve the equation and check your solution. The difference now is there's going to be a variable on both sides of the equation. So we're going to be moving multiple things. So these you might show an extra step from the other ones, but they're still not bad. Let's see, 22. 6x plus 7 is equal to 2x plus 59. So another thing that I'll say is, like when you were down in like pre-algebra and algebra 1 probably even, you would do one thing at a time. So like you would just move your x's over, and then in the next step you would move the numbers over. I don't care if you do both at the same time. So like in this step, it's completely fine to go ahead and subtract the 2x and subtract the 7 over to the other side. So I like to do it that way because it takes up less lines on my paper. So 6x minus 2x is 4x, and then 59 minus 7 is 52.
X equals 13.
And yeah, x equals 13. Now, this is important when you check these ones, okay, to make sure, the other ones, it was pretty simple. You just plug the number in, and it was just kind of like easy to tell. These ones, you have to plug into the original, and you got to make sure that both sides equal each other. It's not like one side already tells you that, oh, it's equal to, like in this one, the one above, it was already equal to 12. So all we really had to do was something on one side. You've got to make sure both sides equal each other now by actually showing your the work for it. So 6 times 13 plus 7 is equal to 2 times 13 plus 59. Anybody know 6 times 13 off the top of their head?
78.
Plus 7, and then over here, what is that? 26, 59. I don't know why in my head I was ignoring the 7 that's on the left side, and I was like, 85 doesn't equal 78, and then I was like, oh wait. Okay, so obviously it's like an extra step in the checking, but it's still not hard. Let's see. Let's do like 3 more, and then we'll be done. 28 looks good. Let's do that one. 28, 5m minus 2 is equal to negative m minus 2. All right, so what is my first step?
You gotta subtract, put the you gotta move the other
So how do I do that?
add the m on this side,
Okay, so add the m over here, so that gives me 6m.
and then add the 2 on the other side.
Add the 2, so negative 2 plus 2 is going to be 0, so m equals 0. So then for the check part, 5 times 0 minus 2 is equal to 0 minus 2. So negative 2 equals negative 2. And we're good. All right, so then one more. Same thing, but doing this with the distributive property, I think, for the next one. Oh, and then I'll show you how to do one if you're given fractions. So one distributive and then one with fractions, and then we're done. Let's do 38. 7 times t minus 3 is equal to 2 times t minus 9 plus 2t. So what should I do first here? Okay, so what does that give me?
70 minus 20
Okay.
Like
Yeah, so what I will tell you here is that if you want to, you can go ahead and throw all the t's to the left and go ahead and throw all the numbers to the right. If you would prefer to go ahead on the right side and combine the two t values and then just move one thing over, that's fine. I'm pretty flexible with problems like this and not showing all the little steps that you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw all the t's over here. Okay, if it was like bigger numbers, I might care a little bit, but so this is 4t over here, so it's positive, so I'm going to subtract it over, so 3t, and then, goodness gracious, and then, yep, negative 18 plus 21 is positive 3, so t is equal to 3 divided by 3 is 1, so then we check. And see, that's the beauty of checking, because if you throw that number back in, it's not going to work. So 7 times 1 minus 3 equals 2 times 1 minus 9 plus 2 times, it's only going to kind of fit over there, 2 times 1. So this is 7 times negative 2. This is 2 times negative 8 plus 2. So negative 14 is equal to negative 16 plus 2. So negative 14 is equal to negative 14. Okay. Again, you didn't necessarily have to show every single little step there that I did. Just want to make sure we see what's happening. Okay. Some people, not that this is wrong, but some people will try to distribute the 7 times 1 and then the 7 times negative 3. That's just extra work. So that's another reason I wanted to show how I was going about it, because sometimes people just like kind of get confused with that. All right, last problem. Might look a little scary, but it's not bad. 44, 1 over 5 d plus 1 over 8 d is equal to 2. Now, you might look at this, and what would your thought process be if I told you to combine the like terms and solve for d? How would you do that?
to have the same denominator.
Okay,
It have
so-
to be the same
So what denominator would you use for 5 and 8?
40.
40? Okay, so then you would be sitting here, you'd put a 40 on the bottom, right, and then you'd multiply the 1/5 times 8, you'd multiply the 1/8 times 5, and then you still have fractions, right? It's still annoying. Well, you don't like fractions, do you?
No. I love
You want to know how to get rid of them?
I don't care. I like, yes, please.
The whole equation, okay? What I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. I'm going to take that. I still need to know what my common denominator would have been. It would have been 40, okay? Use the numbers that are the simplest, obviously. So 40 is the smallest number that works between 5 and 8. And now I multiply that whole thing. Even the right side is getting multiplied by 40. Okay? So 40 times 1/5, that leaves me with 8d. Plus 40 times 1/8 is 5d. Is equal to 40 times 2. That's the one that people forget. Your answer will be wrong if you forget that. Is 80. 8 plus 5 is 13. So then d is equal to 80 over 13. Now, I'm nice. I'm not cruel. I don't make you check the ones with fractions. Okay? You do not have to check problems with fractions.
That's just like checking it with fractions and doing all that just makes it like way harder.
Like in this case, it would come out and it would actually not be that bad. But I'm not going to make you check it with fractions because they don't all come out to be nice and neat. Okay? If you get an improper fraction, go ahead and leave it. Don't convert it to a mixed number like your book will do. Okay. I don't like mixed numbers. I really don't. They just irritate me. It's just no.
I didn't like have to turn mixed numbers into improper fractions either. Like I have to do the multiplying thing and then the adding. So weird.
All right, so 9, 13, 23, 31, 35, 39, and then 45. 45 follows this. You do not have to check it because it's fractions. Okay, all the rest of them must be checked.
Pretty easy, not gonna lie.
Okay. Yep, pretty simple. We got about just shy of 30 minutes. You should be able to knock these out. I'll go create a tab for it.